Hey everybody, this is your girl Savvy Sab and I'm back with another video. Welcome to another episode of What's for Dinner. On today we will prepare chicken pot pies. So first we're going to start by cutting all of our veggies up and prepare and assemble them so they'll be easy to use. I have carrots, I have shallots and onions, and here are some mushrooms and another vegetable that's not normally found in your everyday pot pie, which is chopped up broccoli florets. I decided to put these in my chicken pot pie because, as you guys know, I am on a vegan journey and I wanted to make sure that this pot pie was very fulfilling. So one of the things that I've put in mine is mushrooms and broccoli, outside of what you normally would find in your everyday chicken pot pie. And as you can see, I've cut them up very, very fine. I'm also using some chicken pieces. This chicken pieces is not my normal brand that I use, but today I'm trying a new brand called Daring. I've heard about this and I thought I'd give it a try because you know I am so faithful and loyal to the Guardian brand. But I'm anxious to see how it's going to turn out. So far, the pieces actually look like real chicken, but we got to see how it's going to taste, right? So as I've cut up everything, there are a few other items that I'm going to add into our pot pie, like vegetable oil and plant-based milk instead of whipping cream and chicken broth. I have my plant-based butter and a little bit of seasoning here, and not to mention my herbs and spices, right? All of which will be located in the description box. I've also cut up a whole potato. And with that being said, let's get started. So I'm going to start by putting some butter in the skillet and melting that so that we can begin to saute our veggies, okay? And so at the same time that I'm allowing my butter to melt, I'm gonna go ahead on and get this pot of potatoes going as well. Potatoes, even though they may be a little soft, I like to go ahead and boil them so that everything can come together at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead on, fill this pot of water, put a little salt on it, and I'm gonna put it on medium high so that while I'm sauteing my veggies, I can also go ahead and boil these potatoes until they're about fork tender. Okay? Now I'm gonna move it, let's move it up here right quick so everything kind of be like, you know, in arm's reach. Okay, so with the butter melting, with the potatoes on, now it's time to get started with everything else. Okay? And feel free to omit or to add to your recipe as you see fit, but this is what Savvy Sab is choosing to do on today. Okay, so now that the butter is melting, it is time now to get started with, you know, our seasonings and starting our sauteing. So the butter is pretty much melted, but I'm going to make sure that I'm ready. So when we start this process, I don't have to stop for anything else. And again, all of these veggies that I'm using, all of the herbs and spices I'm using, the seasoning that I'm using, guys, it will be listed down in the description box, or feel free to comment and leave me a question and I'll be glad to answer them. That was my 1 cup of flour that I forgot to add to the program. So now it's all melted, so let's get started. Okay, we're gonna go ahead on and put a little bit more butter because again we're sauteing a lot. We're sauteing a lot of veggies, so I want to make sure that it's, you know, the butter don't dry up before all of the veggies get a chance to saute. So let's start this process. Okay, so here are my onions and my shallots. I'm going in with those first. And again, we want to start sauteing these items, guys, until they become soft and translucent. So I would say put your burner on like medium high, just to go ahead and get these sauteed up. And as our onions and our shallots are sauteing and becoming soft, we'll go ahead on next and we'll add in our seasoning. and our herbs. Okay, that will be one of the things that we'll go ahead and add in next. So you want to add in your seasonings, you want to add in your herbs, so that the aromatics in the house can begin to get everybody's attention and begin to give everybody kind of like a notice, like something going on in your house, you know, even if you got your window open and your neighbor can hear it. Or is that just me? It could just be a thing that Savvy Sav does. But again, and I'll be adding seasoning throughout my dish because I don't like to just put it in one area and thinking that that's enough. So I will be adding it throughout my whole dish. So right now I'm going to go in with this seasoning. And that's just onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, things of that sort. We're going to go in with things like that. And then we're going to go in with rosemary and thyme. Gotta have that comfort feeling in there. Have a little cumin in there. And that's just me, but that's some of the things that I used. I want to get those all in there. We'll stir up everything and get it going. The next thing coming up is going to be those mixed veggies. The broccoli, the carrot, the mushrooms. We're going to get all of these things into the pot now. And want to begin to get those items soft. And it takes some time. That's why I say make sure that your skillet is on medium high so that your veggies can continue to get soft. Your onions can continue to get soft. And then you're adding in your veggies. And I found about a cup of mixed vegetables left, which was the peas and carrots. So I did go ahead and add that in as well to the party. And right now we're just going to take our time and stir and make sure that these items are good and soft. And once we've cooked all of these items and they've become soft, we're going to take them out and set it to the side. And we'll add in our next thing. Now you might choose to leave all your stuff in the pot and just continue to add things. But I took all of my veggies out after they became soft. And again, I'm going in with more seasoning, guys. I told you I will be adding in a little seasoning after everything that I add to the pot, because again, I want to make sure that you get fresh seasoning on everything that I'm doing, and it's throughout. So as you can see, I took the veggies out, and so now I'm going in with like I said, the meat pieces. I've chopped them up, and I want to get them going as well. Now again, I'm not going to just brown this meat. I'm going to add a little seasoning to my meat, because again, I want everything to be seasoned and ready. And we're just going to brown this meat, and then we're going to also put the meat to the side, and we're going to work on that cream. And that's the best part to me. I promise you guys, that is the best part. I'm going to add a little seasoning. Add a little seasoning here. Add a little herb. Oh yes. All right, we're going to go back in with a little bit of butter now because it's time to make that cream I was talking about. So we're going to butter our skillet again so that we can begin to make the cream, or the cream for the filling. Okay, and we're going to start off by putting the butter in the skillet. I'm going to soften that butter up. And I'm never going to clean out the skillet because I do want to get and keep that same the seasoning and everything in the skillet. So I'm never going to clean the skillet. I'm just going to simply just take out the things and add it in. So now I'm going in with some flour with that butter. Yes. We have to. And now that we get the butter and the flour acclimated, then I'll go in with some plant-based milk as well as some veggie broth, and that's going to propel our sauce. I'm going in with some veggie stock, but if you're making it regular, of course, you can add chicken stock or beef stock or whichever one you desire. This is to bring some liquid to the flour. Not too much, but enough. And of course, when you get flour and stock together, that makes that gravy. Oh yes. I'm going to add a little bit of plant-based milk here. And if I had to guesstimate, because y'all know I don't measure most of these things like this, I don't measure, I go by what it looks like. If I had to guesstimate, I'd say that I added in a half a cup. And I just kept everything smooth. I kept stirring. Make sure there was no lumps in the flour. Just make sure that it came out to be a smooth gravy. Okay. And as this is finishing up, guys, you want to just go ahead on and add back in your veggies and your meat. Once you get all the flour lumps out and it's become smooth, you put your veggies and your meat in. And now my potatoes are done, so I'm going to add those in as well. And now you're going to mix everything together, because this has now become your filling for your chicken pot pie. And make sure that you let those potatoes, everything is already done. The only thing that I'm doing is stirring it and bringing it together. The veggies are done nice and tender. The potatoes are done nice and tender. And you have your sauce. So everything, as you can see here, is really good and it's gelling well together. So now all it is left to do is to actually prep your crust. And here's your filling. And we're going to bake these bad boys and then they'll be all done. I kind of finished up making sure the filling was ready off camera just to reduce time. It took me about a total of 15 to 20 minutes to actually get it the way I wanted it. And as you can see, it looks really good and fulfilling. You can do a quick taste test here to make sure it's what you want, to see if you need to add any more seasoning or salt or whatever, if you need to add something to it. What I'm doing at this time, I'm adding me some garlic and pepper, because I added a little garlic powder earlier, but it really wasn't enough to make a statement in this. So, and I got some Slap Your Mamas here, which I love anything with a kick. My family loves stuff with a kick. So I told you I have to keep it a little Cajun around here sometime. I add a little bit of both of these into the mix, and everything now is complete. Okay. Put a little salt back in here because, again, with everything going on, there was no salt. But that's a preference of mine. It is optional to do. Okay. So now we need to start to work on the crust. Okay. We've already put the filling into the ramekins. I have 3 small ramekins, and I also have a little tin pan that I had from when I had a pot pie earlier this week. And so that's what made me want to do some pot pies for the house. So I've taken my rolling pin here and I put some flour on it. I'm using some puff pastries here. And this is how I'm going to make my crust. So I put in a little flour, and we're going to take this rolling pin and kind of flatten it out to make it to fit the top of that ramekin. You want it to actually make it a little bit bigger, because I don't know about you, but I love for my crust to just like fill over. So as it's baking, it's all on the side, just like when you go to KFC. If you do not have a KFC in your city, oh my God, get to the nearest KFC. I'm not really a big fan of their chicken, but I am a big fan of their pot pie. And it takes me back to my childhood days, but it's so much better. We used to have those little, you know, banquet pot pies and Swanson pot pies. Ooh, it's came a long way from there. So as you can see, I'm actually just going to knead this really, really quick around the ramekin. Feel free, like I said, to just let it ooze over if you so desire. I'm just kind of taking my thumbs and pushing it together to keep all of the filling in. But it is easy to do. This is the easiest way. Or you can make, of course, your homemade crust as I normally would. But today I just wasn't with that. So I grabbed some puff pastry. And I did all of these like that. And they're all done now. And so I took some butter, I melted it. And I'm just going to brush the top of these crusts so that I can make sure that we get that buttery golden crust on top. Please make sure that your oven has been preheated. And I did preheat my oven to 375. Make sure it's already preheated and it's ready to go. And the baking times may vary between 40 and 45 minutes. For me, it took 45 minutes until I was, convinced, or I felt that the crust was ready. So 375 degrees. Make sure you have, but me, I had a lot of butter on top of my crust. And make sure you could, I should have said at the beginning, just preheat your oven so it can be really good and hot. But these are ready now. And we're going to put these in for 45 minutes total is what it took me. I did check at the 40 mark. And then I put it back in there for 5 more minutes. Okay. So 45 minutes is what it took. So now it's time to take them out. It's time to take them out. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Sheesh. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, they came out so good, y'all. So scrumptious. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the material that I'm bringing. If there's something you want me to do particularly, just leave it in the comments and I'll make sure that I make it. I can make it the regular way or the vegan way. This is your girl, Savvy Stab. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm so excited, guys. I can't wait to bite into this. Woo! Can't wait to bite into it. KFC ain't got nothing on Savvy Stab. Yes, look at it. Look at it. Until the next video. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Until the next video, guys, this is your girl, Savvy Sab, and I'm out, and it's time to eat. Yes, it's time to eat. Hope my family is going to enjoy these. I'm sure they will. Bye, guys.